Hello everyone, I'm your host Thomas28, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I had a request. Some people wanted to know, if I skip over mechanic, they wanted me to kind of explain how the mechanic works. So today, I'm going to be going over Agricraft and getting these perfected seeds, like you saw in today's episode with the Agricultural Revolution. I don't remember if it's episode 2. I already recorded those episodes, so I'm doing this in the future, or I'm doing this more current than those videos. But in those videos, I had multiple plants with perfect stats, and I'm sure people wanted to know, well, okay, you did that off camera, how exactly do I do that myself? You can see this is the world where I take screenshots, so that's like why there's random set pieces set up all around. Anyways, to get right in with Agricraft, it's actually quite simple if you want to get perfected seeds. Now, I set up this little garden plot here, but you actually don't even need any of this if you want to get perfect seeds. The most you'll need is just this much space. Just 3 farmland and your crop sticks. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have this set up where you have crop sticks, double crop sticks, and plant your seeds on the right and leftmost versions. Now, in chapter 2, you're going to get access, or was it chapter 2? Yeah, I think it was chapter 2. You'll get access to iron, and you'll be able to craft the watering can for mystical agriculture. This makes it go a lot faster. I would recommend waiting on doing this until you have the watering can, because it lets you skip over a lot of time. Now, you can see these are both bottom tier seeds. Oh, also, let me get my magnifying glass so I can show you. You can see these are bottom tier seeds. But using the watering can, you can have them grow a lot faster, as you can see here. Almost perfect, almost there. Come on, you're almost in growing. There we go, 100. And you do the same here, get this one also to 100. And you'll see the seeds to the right start growing as well. So this makes it a lot faster, but if you look, this one is also 111. What happened in this case is that if you have the double crop seeds in the middle, before both are fully grown, it will clone one of the parents. In this case, since this one was fully grown, it just cloned it. Now that they're both fully grown, you take your watering can and start watering the empty space. This is going to start ticking the block faster and cause it to hybridize. Like that, it's already done. You don't have to grow it any more than this. Now you take a look at your magnifying glass and you can see it has mutated beneficially. Instead of 1 down the line, we're at 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. And mutativity is what you're looking for. I would recommend min-maxing mutativity because the higher this number gets, the better odds that your plant will grow to 10 faster. And that's where you're going to save a lot of time. So we don't need the weak wheat seeds. So you're going to grab this. You're going to grab the one with higher stats and immediately replace one of the other ones. So we know this is our increased one. You put it in there. Let's see, let me grab a composter so I can get rid of the old seeds. Like so. We'll dump the old seeds in there. And then take your watering can and start watering this guy until he's fully grown. And it's going to take a second. There, fully grown. 2, 2, 2, 2. Now this one is 1, 1, 1, 1. Now something you can do to make it go slightly faster is if you break this one and then put your crop sticks here, you can just clone this one. I believe you can do it like this. You might have to put 2 actually. Like so. Then you wait for this to grow and you'll see it's a clone of this one. So once it's cloned, you grab this seed, come over here, plant it, grow it as well, and now you have a clone of your increased stats. So we're going to get this one all the way to 100%, like so. Double crop sticks, and now we're going to grow the middle plant, the child, and you'll see we did not get the stats we wanted. As you could see, the growth and mutativity went down while fertility and strength went up. Not what we want. You essentially want to min-max for mutativity, and that's how you can get it fastest. So you could see here, 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, not what we wanted. So you try again, and you just keep repeating this process until you keep getting higher and higher stats. So now you can see, okay, this is good. Now we got 3, 3, 3, 2, and some of the recessive traits on the right have also increased to 2, 2. So we're going to take this seed and plant it here. Put that there, get rid of the old one, you double check it, perfect, grow it to full, get it to 100%, and then you continue this process over and over. Now, you want to make sure you're really min-maxing mutativity, because mutativity controls that when there is a random, what's the word they use? When there is a genetic difference, that randomness when it grows, a higher mutativity number controls that it will be a beneficial trait instead of a negative one. You want it to be as high as possible, that way your stats only keep going up, you don't want them to go down. So since that's at 3 and that's at 2, you can actually just, you don't have to min-max it every time if you don't want to. So we'll just start growing the middle plant here. Get this one growing, and as soon as it pops up, we can check it, and it's weaker. As you can see, it's a clone of the left one, which is quite useless, so we'll get rid of it, and try again. And this time, mutativity has increased, much better, so we'll get rid of this seed. Take this one here, and swap it over. So since this one has a mutativity of 3, 3, and that one has a mutativity of 3, 1, overall, it's going to produce children that have a mutativity of that 3, 2 range, which is what you want. So this is 3, 1, that's 3, 3. So now when we make the child plant here, as you can see, mutativity 2, 2. So still not quite what we want because our mutativity is not high enough. But you'll essentially keep repeating this process over and over until you get your stats all the way to the max. You can do it with all the other stats, but I find that min-max... Oh, I didn't place the second one. I find that min-maxing mutativity is really the driving indicator. Okay, 4, 1. That's a lot better. Take this one out here. Replace you. Put that here. 4, 1. Take this out. Grow this. So you could see, you can have a fully maxed out crop pretty quickly. So let's see how fast it can take if I do it all right now. And now, just like that, we have wheat with a mutativity of 10, 10, and you can see every successive child will continue to increase in their other stats. So now at this point, you just need to go left and right and check which ones are lower than the other. So you can go from here and see, okay, this one is weaker in most other stats than this one. So you pop out this one and replace it. So now, you just keep continuing this process. And once you have the mutativity of 10, 10, it makes all successive children even better than the previous batch. So now this one, yep, 2 stats are 10, 10. Growth is 10, 10 as well, which is really good. And it starts a feedback loop into itself, because once growth is 10 out of 10, now it takes even less time to finish planting. So I'm going to pop out this guy, replace it here, get rid of this stuff. Put that all in here. And you can see it only took, this entire episode is only 14, we're at 13 and a half minutes right now. Put this guy here. This guy's 10, 10, 8, 5. You can see much better than this one. Finish doing this guy, and this will be the last one we do. Double stick here, water that, done, and you can see all the stats keep rising much faster. Why is it raining so often? Start rising incredibly fast. So in total, you can get perfect plants within, say, 10 to 15 minutes. Now, the main benefit for this is if you take a look here at your bottom tier plant and we grow this, you can see it does take a quite long time to grow, even when you're using the watering can to make it go a lot faster. So let's get this guy to 100%. Yada yada, it's taking a long time. There we go. And when you right click it, we got 2, we got 3. So in total from 2 plants, we averaged about 2.5 wheat. If you take a look at your wheat plant that has a gain much higher, like this one at 8.8, we'll grow this guy to full, and you right click him. A single wheat plant gives you 5. So this plant is nearly twice as productive as its lower tier brethren. And then as you increase it all the way to 1010 gain, it goes up even higher. Now the other stats don't really matter too much. Fertility is for crossbreeding plants, but I find that since you have a watering can, you can do the crossbreeding extremely fast anyway. And the strength is probably the second most useful one. If you take a look here, like we'll look at wheat seeds. You can see at a strength of 1, it grows on farmland and rich soil, which you're going to be planting it on farmland anyway. But when you get it all the way to 10, it grows on farmland, podzol, rich soil farmland, rich soil. So really it only adds podzol. But the main benefit here is that it increases the light level it can grow at all the way to light level 5. If you see at strength 1, it can only grow at 10. So that means it's growing much longer during the day, and since it can maintain it at a lower light level, you can just use something like torches or glowstone during the night to keep it growing 24/7, which is very useful. Now, a thing that's a little bit annoying is some of the plants still have to be like waterlogged, so you can't really get away from that. But stuff like mushrooms, which have to grow on mycelium, and I can show you here, spore, like the brown mushroom, you can see at strength 1, it can only grow on mycelium. But if you continuously breed it all the way to 10, it can grow on farmland and gravel as well, along with being able to grow at every single light level. So that means your mushrooms, which can only grow on mycelium at light levels 10 to 0, can now grow on anything under any light level, which is extremely good. And that's why this part of the Agricraft is pretty useful. It's really useful for the gain modifier. Specifically when you're growing plants that produce resources like copper, that's what you're going to want the most. You want to maximize your copper gains. You don't want to just build an even bigger farm. You want your plants to be more productive. Anyways, this was a short explanatory episode on Agricraft. I'm your host, Hamas28, and I'll see you guys next time.